everyone? It is your boy Santi, and I am here with some very special guests this week to cover week 2 of Reindeer Games Twisted Christmas. Our first guest is my co-host, Coach Drew. Coach Drew, how are you?
Um, 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 I'm doing another great week of episodes, specifically episode 4. I can't wait to really touch down on that, despite the cliffhanger. Spoilers.
Thank you. I
Awesome.
was going to say the same thing.
All right, well, how are you, besides your feelings on the cliffhanger?
I'm fine. I had a crazy day at work, but then I was like, oh, I'm so excited to talk about it. And then when I was reminding myself, I was like, oh, and then you had that bitch ass cliffhanger like the fucking challenge does and Dre does on the fucking caucus challenge. And then it re-pissed me off all over again. So now, remember, I was like, I'm going to be reserved. Now my blood pressure's raised. So we'll see what happens. But go ahead. Good afternoon, everybody.
I guess you forget that conversation where you were bitching at Dre about the cliffhangers, and then I told you, well, you're really going to hate Reindeer Games.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Girl, I talked to so many people. I'm not trying to say I'm popular. I'm not. But I just talk to a lot of fucking people
Fair.
and I forget things.
Fair. And, of course, our very special guest, Carlos. Carlos, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I also hated the cliffhanger, and I messaged Santi and spammed his message with some hate too.
Wow.
I think if you guys read the comments, the other players also sent me hate messages. And then I have text messages from the players. But Carlos, I don't know if you remember this or not. When we had the tie, I specifically said, oh, I can't wait to end the episode on a cliffhanger with this tie. And then I read the vote.
Block that out.
All right, well, let's get already started to the episode. Last round, Mackenzie won the rollerball competition. She put up Clay and Jake. Clay kind of offered her like, hey, like, I think we're really got strong competitors. We should work together. Mackenzie's like, nah, I'm good. And puts them up against Jake. Clay wins, but Jake and Clay have this very important conversation where Clay theorizes the women are working together. And,
oh, yes. No pussy allowed. Yes.
I don't know if Clay had like just blacked out or whatnot, but in the first round, the two girls were safe with him. And then in the second round, two girls were on a team and they were also safe along with Carlos. So there was really no way for them to work together, but this is what Clay believes, and this is what he tells Jake. And Jake immediately tells Justin, and it starts this whole like storyline in the garage where they're competing, where the women are working together. What are you guys thinking about this?
Also, I have in my notes that women's alliance clocked with or without Chan ? Because we kind of, well, at least how we started it off. It's clocked whatever that is I mean, to be fair, at the end of episode 2, I did feel like there was not because they're women, but I did feel like a lot of them were bonding together over game stuff that was happening within the game, and because they were working together during certain some of these challenges, it's very easy to bond during. We had 2 women win the first challenge, so for me, it didn't feel weird or off. I think my biggest thing coming out of all of this is, where does Chan actually fall when it comes to, am I with this group? Am I with this? Does this group even exist? And I think that led to more a compelling watch as the episode progressed, because I was trying to figure if this group was real, where Chan fell in the middle of all of that, and whether other people's perceptions were accurate.
Yeah. And Carlos, at this point, you're still in the dark about it. You have no idea. You're just vibing. You're like, everything's fine. I'm safe this round. So Jake and Justin come back. Jake wins the competition. He earns a coal. And then he gives out these numbers. And I did explain to Jake how White Elephant works. You guys watch me walk off, and I explained to him again, like, this is how the game works. Obviously, a lot's going on. He's handing numbers out. And I was confused myself of, like, in theory, yes, Anthony is the first one you want to give it to because you want to give Anthony a lot of options, but that's not probably the most optimal number to give him.
Yes.
And that's why I kind of like poke fun at like Jake and Justin a little bit later of like, I think we messed this order up. because he goes
Oh, they
straight for like
definitely did.
yeah.
Well,
So we get
that's
the
what I think
numbers.
was so interesting is too. It's like, I mean, I don't know, and you can shed light on this. Like, how fast were the rounds? Like, how much time did he get before you told him, like, hey, the white elephant is happening. You get, because you won, you get the numbers. And then the time the numbers actually got handed out, like, how much time did he have?
Like 15 minutes, because we're in the garage. I explained the challenge to them. They have the challenge. And then I let him know you won the challenge. They're going to get the numbers out. While that conversations are happening, so him and Justin are talking, we're taking the cameras, we're moving them to the living room. We're making sure everybody's out of the confessional rooms. We're back in the living room and kind of resetting. So that whole time between is about 15 minutes.
Gotcha. So, okay. Because I think sometimes, like, and I think this, we kind of touched on this on the last episode, was like, Jake is an LRG newbie, right? And when you're new, like, and all of us, I think, yeah, all of us have obviously played games. That first game, you're just trying to figure out which way is up still. And so, like, and then your mind's not accustomed to that. We gotta fucking move, right? And so when it was like white elephant, he's like, yeah, white elephant. And he's talking to Justin, and it's like, oh, wait, like, yeah, just hand out numbers. Number one's the best, right? Like, I think that his newbiness, I think, hit here, because I think you give it to anyone else, like, who's a bit more seasoned, like a Clay and Mackenzie, they'd be like, oh, my number one ally needs to go at 7 or 8. And the person I kind of don't want to get anything good goes at 1.
Yeah.
Because you're not used to that quick strategy thing, you know? And I think that's kind of what got him here a little bit.
Well, I think it was Mackenzie that had the confessional where she says, "Oh, I thought it was kind of weird that
Yes.
Jake went that way." Like,
Yeah.
or Anthony.
Now everyone knew that
Jake went
Anthony
way.
and
Yeah,
Jake were
yeah.
together.
No. So here's the tea, girls. No. Carlos does
Oh.
not. And Carlos will talk about this later when we get to the strategy route. But Carlos did not find out until the end of the game that they were together. I have since found out that Mackenzie, Josh, and Justin also did not know. Neither did Clay. I think the only ones that knew were Amy and Stephanie, but they found out after the first round.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If anybody's in the chat watching, because we have 6 viewers, and you're in the cast, let me know, because I might have that wrong. So, Carlos, you're getting the numbers. You have no idea what it's about. I think you get number 6, right? 5 or 6. Yeah, because Amy got 4.
Yeah, I think I
Josh
got 6.
5. You got 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, okay, 6 is all right, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the packages start coming out, and you're seeing these numbers. So what are you thinking about the numbers? Because Stephanie does mention that she leans over to you, and she's like, these numbers are bad. I couldn't find footage of that, but I'm sure the conversation did happen.
Yeah, so at first I had no idea what the hell the numbers were, and I was trying to focus more on whether or not somebody was gaining some candy cane or losing some candy cane. And it wasn't until there was some safety boxes that started coming up. And I clocked the fact that after you steal one gift is locked. So I think that might have been another key point that Jake was not thinking about when he was organizing the numbers, that if somebody steals something, it's going to be locked. So once I saw that Josh, I'm horrible with names, Josh had a safety box. He is somebody that I hadn't really been connecting with. And this was an opportunity that I take a gift from something and safety from somebody cannot be stolen from me, and somebody that I don't really have a relationship or owe anything to. It was a no-brainer for me to take that from him.
Yeah. And I would just gotta say, like, as the host, I can't think of a more perfect person out of the other 9 players that was picked to wear that onesie.
I rocked out.
You rocked out.
I say that.
It seemed very snug. So
Carlos kept it on the entire game. He decided just to, you know what, 1 round wasn't enough. I'm just going to keep it on the entire time here.
In episode 5 or 4, 4.
He's still wearing it. Okay, so we get the number.
Was the onesie that comfortable?
It really was.
Because y'all in Texas in a onesie, I'm like, I'd be sweating to fucking death.
And like it was also like soft, so like I was wearing like a sweater, and it was like if when we were outside it was kind of hot, and the onesie, like I could go outside, I could come inside, and it was never hot, so I was cool, I was chilling.
All right.
It's still sitting here for you, Carlos. I got to ship it.
Perfect.
We have
Whenever you want to wear it if you get cold. So you and Chan and Mackenzie end up being safe, and you had talked about this a lot. You talked about this last episode, how you're not really having a chance to like have these one-on-one conversations. I didn't catch any of this footage, so like enlighten me. Whenever it was the three of you guys here in the living room, did you guys have any kind of game conversations, or what was that like while the other five of them were going through hell?
Yeah, and I thought we were actually going to have a longer time because Amy came in quickly, shortly after. So we didn't have as much time as I anticipated or wanted to actually have a full-on conversation of like, hey guys, like I want to lock in with this three. So I just briefly like connected with them and I said, like, this is the three that I want. I thought that was enough to communicate it and like solidify that like I wanted to work with both of them. And I had been just trying to have eye conversation with these people for a while. So it was important to like lock it as soon as possible. But because nobody was really talking game whenever we were all around, it was hard to find a spot or a moment to actually lock it in.
Yeah.
As a group.
It seems like a lot of people were going off of vibes because Mackenzie mentions that as well. Like, I think Carlos is getting my vibe here. Like, it's the same thing with Chan. So I think you picked two really, really good allies. So they go in the garage, Amy comes out, and then Anthony comes out. Did they start telling you guys what was happening, or like what were those conversations like? Do you remember?
Yeah, honestly, they were explaining what happened, and like they were giving a lot of details, and I kind of blacked out. So I had no idea of what was actually happening. It took me to watch it to be like, oh, this is what they were talking about. But yes, they were explaining something, and I wasn't really like processing a lot of things that they were saying.
Yeah. So, Coach and Will, what did you guys think of that elimination competition? Because there was a lot of moving pieces happening there. And I think it was one of the more shocking eliminations. I would have been sad of any of those five going.
I mean, I was gagged. I mean,
yeah.
I did not see Steph going there, to be honest. Like, I mean, I guess in this kind of game, it's tough because it's like I've seen Steph play Ascendance, and like people were like, "That's the like." Not that she was like the puzzle person, but like that was like her thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like. And so, like, I definitely, and she had played the first two rounds like so well, which I think is also really interesting about this format is like she was very well positioned, and it's just a couple twists, a couple safeties, and that's it. You know?
Yeah.
She has, I won't call it I guess it was a monologue, like right before she like ultimately loses, where she's like, oh, well, I'm done. And I don't know if it's at the end of this, at the end of episode 3, at the beginning of episode 4, during episode 4, where it's like put out there, oh yeah, Stephanie is still in a great spot, even though we're sort of out of the games, sort of. And so, shocking, yes, but I guess it just didn't hit me as hard as other eliminations could, because it's like, yeah, she'll be fine. Probably. Who's to say?
Yeah.
We don't know. But like in the moment, it's like, oh, that sucks, but it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Probably because the way that I'm sorry for like jumping to the end.
No, you're fine.
But like when the votes are coming through at the end of episode 4. And we get these flashbacks of people saying, "Oh, and I told this person this, and Steph threw this person's name out here," and it's like, yeah, if with a game this small as far as cast members are concerned, you're basically playing merge on. If you're playing a Survivor game or so, at that point, it's like, yeah, she is the type of person that you do get rid of. And we do see that at the towards the end, but here, once again, it wasn't the biggest shock in the world because in my head, she'll be fine if she makes it back in.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think that's what's so interesting about this type of format, in that like, and that's why I've been enjoying it, because I don't like games aren't really doing things like this, and Not to gas Santi's head up here, but I guess I will.
Go ahead, keep going. Keep going. I'm listening.
No, but what I think is really interesting and what people can maybe take is like, if you have a really stellar cast, you don't need 24 players. If you cast like 10 really solid people, and then it's almost more interesting because I think people are like thrown a little bit because it's like, Clay's like, it's a girls' alliance. I'm like, well, okay, but there's only like 4 girls and like everyone's still in the game. So like, does it really matter? Because there's so much luck involved. And so, but again, I think that's such like, these games have like conditioned you to think that like, we got to worry about this alliance. I'm like, this game is really worry about yourself first and then see who's around after that and see what we can do and maybe work around by round instead of like, let's just make a 5-strong alliance and march to the end, because that's not how this game works. And I think everyone's starting to kind of figure it out, but I think it's really interesting. And like, I think you said it last, like an ensemble cast. And then like watching it, everyone's like, yeah, Steph is really good. Boom, out. But she's out, but still in a good position, which is really
interesting.
Yeah.
And I've told the cast this. I know I've told you this, Carlos. Like, I have had so much fun with the 10 players and being able to tell each individual story of each player, which you're right. Well, you don't really see in the LRGs of like, these 10 players are going to get 8 episodes of like their entire game, whether it was, Justin who got first boot and now he's on the naughty list and like what happens to him by the end of the game and, Carlos's journey through the game. So it's been really fun to do. And yeah, Stephanie's not necessarily in a bad position, but it does suck to lose her. And so we come back and I announce, Stephanie, Jake, and Justin, we're now going to play this game that I call the naughtiest, where your objective is to get the least amount of votes. And it's funny how this round is set up because, as I told you guys before, I set this game up to cause conflict within the players. You see it in the fruitcake game, you see it in the package game, and they're kind of stuck in my house. They've played the games outside, but they haven't really like broken up into groups. And so we go into the backyard and I say 30 minutes and they're all like, no, that's too much time. And then we start strategizing and I think all hell breaks loose because everybody's in these different pockets. Stephanie immediately off the bat is like, I'm putting up Chan and Clay. And it's a smart strategy.
Oh, yeah.
She tells the wrong people. So, Carlos, what are your thoughts when you're like, okay, we're going to the backyard and I got to bring somebody back in? Because you do mention like Stephanie is on my list of somebody who I don't want to come back in. And then you have a conversation and you change your mind.
Right. I think Stephanie had already gave me the fruitcake at the beginning, and that was on my mind. Not that that she gave it to me, but that she was able to, after I picked her, so smoothly change my mind of like, no, I wouldn't pick you, and I changed my mind and got it wrong. So I already had that in the back of my mind. Not the fact that she picked me, but the fact that she was able to respond so fine, and I was able to fall to it. And I also knew that she was going to be gaming the system. Like, I think Stephanie was one of the few players that had a social, not that she had a previous connection, but was like socially active with every single person in the cast. And that doesn't benefit a player like me. Like, I benefit from small subset of groups. Mm-hmm. So I was going to be placing my vote on her, and partly is why I went to go talk to her. So whenever she told me who she was voting for or she was going to pick, that made me feel a lot better about the possibility of her coming back, because I knew that at least I wouldn't be the one being picked in that scenario.
Yeah, awesome. And it's an interesting strategy, because then she tells Mackenzie, then she tells Josh, and she tells Amy. It's her information flow is funny, because Stephanie and I had this conversation the other day, and she said that she was sitting in that corner of the yard for 20 minutes while everybody else is talking about this women's alliance, and nobody came back and told her. So she doesn't find out about it until much later, which you guys will see later next week. Coach Will, what are y'all's thoughts on the whole? I guess let's talk about Stephanie, or I don't know how we want to approach this round, because there was a lot going on.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll talk about Stephanie. Oh, go ahead, Coach. Sorry.
Well, I'll keep it quaint, so you can just. I referenced this when we did the Stranded recap last year, where this episode felt more like a bottle episode for people that know TV.
Yes.
Where it just kind of felt like everyone's in one spot for all of the episode, and then maybe like there's a sliver at the end where we're back in the house. And I felt that you said 30 minutes. In my head, even though the episode is as long as every other episode, basically, it felt longer because it felt like we were seeing every conversation that was being had. Like we've seen almost everyone talk to everyone, and at the fact that you were able to, because obviously I understand that you have still cut a lot of stuff. The fact that we have such a broad vision of what's going on in the game, even though you are cutting things, is a testament to how it's shot and the conversations that are being had. So this was, I won't say it was my favorite episode, but of the first 4 episodes, it's the most unique episode because it's just focusing on these, Carlos mentioned earlier, it's focusing on these one-on-one, one-on-two type conversations. They're not clumped up, I don't know how quiet y'all are speaking inside the house or even inside the garage, but like outside, I feel like there's more space to kind of be yourself and just kind of say what you want to say.
Yeah. And thank you for saying that, Coach. I'll let you chat in a second, Will. But Will got to hear all the editing notes about this because I would message Will like while I'm editing. I'm like, Will, is 27 minutes of strategy too long? Should I cut it back? Like, I feel like this is too much, but I'm really telling the whole story. And he was like, girl, if you're telling this story, then it's not too much. Like, and that's what I think you guys see from start to finish is like you see an entire story being told that kind of pulls all these different pieces of what was been happening in the game together and kind of makes things make sense and where everybody's standing at least from my perspective.
I mean, it's still 45 whatever minute episode. Like you're still telling a story where you're not cutting out a lot, and we get everything where it never feels like it's dragging on. It never felt, oh, okay, we're talking, we're doing this again. Oh, we're back with my favorite part, and I don't think this is my favorite part was learning the height scale of everyone in the game. Because this is the first time we've seen everyone stand next to each other.
That's what you took away? Okay.
No, but it became very because of everyone's getting a chance to talk to everyone. It's like, oh man, I can kind of, if I were to sit down and rank everyone based off of height, I think I'd be a good, I think I'd have a good guess on how it goes. And
listen, I'm an expert on length as well, just in different ways. So like me and you are definitely on the same wavelength, girl. Like,
so what did you think, Will? Like there was with the
it's funny. I was getting stranded flashbacks, honestly. Like put everyone in the yard and say go, and whatever happens. But I also appreciate it. It's like I feel like the first couple rounds were very just like I don't know. Ooh, it's tough. I don't know who to put up. Like. And then this round, like, almost gave everyone permission in a way to be like, no, go do one-on-ones. Because I feel like everyone was like, probably wanted, like Carlos was saying earlier in this podcast of like, he was trying to like buy things to people because it's like, well, I don't want to say, Mackenzie, let's go talk over here by ourselves or whatever. So, but this is like, no. Everyone got permission and everyone locked in and said, oh, we're going to do one-on-ones, two-on-ones, whatever you want to call it. And now no one's going to like clock each other for it because, and this is like a game mechanic thing, which is really fun, where it's like, no, this is what you're supposed to do. So then no one's clocking anybody. And then I think I'm interested to see like, obviously the ramifications of this round. I probably flip the game a little bit. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I appreciated that in that it really like the game, I don't want to say the game had started because obviously it was already going, but like, the strategic part of the game, I feel, got turned up to like an 11 when it was sitting at a 1. You know what I mean?
I would say
maybe not a 1.
It was more the way I viewed it. It was more idling. Like everybody was kind of being ready to like make a move,
right? And they just needed to have permission to like go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it was, from my standpoint, like it was so interesting to watch these different pockets of people like form, and I've obviously seen all of the footage. And just these different conversations that were happening. Like you have Stephanie in one corner being like, I'm putting up Clay and Chan. Then you have Jake in the other corner being like, I'm good with the girls now. I don't know what anybody's talking about. And then you have Justin telling everybody and anybody who will listen that the girls are working together and we've got to stop that from happening. Carlos, you have that conversation with them and then you have it with Clay. Like, what are your thoughts? Because you talk about it a little bit of like, I really don't care. Like, it's not a big deal.
See, at that point, I did think there was some connection with the girls, but not the way that it was being perceived. Like I always saw Amy and Steph being close, and I saw Chan and Mackenzie being close as two different like groups. So I wasn't threatened because I didn't see them as a four, but as like maybe two groups of two. And I felt good with this group of two, and I felt good with Amy from this group. So to me, I was like, this is not a group that's going to be putting me or targeting me anyways. I don't see them as a four, so I don't see the reason to break them up because that's not happening, at least to my perception in the moment. And I like them, so I didn't see the need to like jump on that wagon. I thought if I try to jump on it, it was going to hurt me more than benefit me.
Yeah. What did you guys think about Justin just spilling the tea out there?
What did I think?
It was really messy. Loved it.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have done that. I don't know that I would have. I think that it could have. Thankfully, Mackenzie was very careful about the way that then she used the information, and I don't think that it was like it became messy, but it had the potential to become messy.
Yeah. I think it definitely, we will see in next week's episodes, the ramifications of these conversations start. Just, there's a ripple effect that occurs. Coach, you said you had some thoughts on the strategy portion of this episode. What were they?
Did I say that?
Earlier.
Did I say that?
Yeah. You said when we get to episode 4, I want to talk about the strategy.
And it's more because of how everything probably plays out. We don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely don't know. But you kind of have to, in this spot, it's very hard with 10 people. 10? Yes, with 10 people. Because if you say the wrong name, if you say the wrong two names, then that's going to register and it's all guesswork, because you can sit there and try to read the room all you want. We've only been here 4 hours, maybe less.
I think it's around noon.
Okay, so about 4 hours.
Yeah,
3, 4. You can kind of guess how people are feeling about each other, but you don't know for sure, and so you're basically throwing Hail Marys of, yeah, this is probably who. Like this is what I would do. And just hope that the person that you were talking to in this moment doesn't feel that way about these two, positively about these two, because in the event that they feel opposite of you, that could jeopardize your game. And in a challenge situation like this, where we have to vote, where we're trying to not get votes, I guess, it's a very slippery slope. But someone like Stephanie, who has done enough of these games and enough of these online games, I feel like depending on how everything kind of turns out, I think that it will pay off for her. And if it doesn't, she's the type of player that will bounce back and just do it again in a different game.
Handstands rise.
Okay, no spoilers. So yeah, I for me, if I'm put in the situation and I'm one of the three that I have to try to navigate how to get back in the game, I'm as honest as possible and hope that people kind of say things to me that I can kind of piggyback on. Because if I outright say the wrong thing to the wrong person in a cast of 10, that could ultimately be the end of my game. But I also understand there are other ways of navigating this. It depends on friends. It depends on everything else.
Which we clearly see, because Carlos then goes to Chad and says, "Hey, Chad, by the way, Stephanie's considering putting you up." That meme yesterday, Carlos.
I have a question. So, more for Carlos. So obviously Stephanie shares this thing with you, right? I'm putting these two up, right? Obviously in a way to build trust, right? So then I guess my question is, where do you diverge being like, oh, this could be a good ally versus, you know what? Sorry, Steph, fuck you. I'm going to drive that bus and throw you right under it to Chan? Like, was it just because you liked Chan more and she was in the game? Like, how do you choose like which way to like, because you could have been like, thanks, girl, go ahead and do that and call it a day, not say anything to Chan and let her go up with Clay. You know what I mean? Like, where do you go from there?
Yeah, I try to balance the two. Like, sorry,
Ooh.
I got a phone call, but I try to balance the two in that Stephanie did effectively get me to get off of her. Like, essentially, I wanted Jake to come back. Jake was the only one I had a relationship with, or like a strong connection with out of the three. So I had to figure out which of the two I needed to place my votes on. And then by Stephanie revealing that to me, I think it was a positive thing that I received. When I was in a conversation with Mackenzie and Chan, as we had already like logged in or publicly said it, I was expecting Mackenzie to be the one to like say like, hey, we just came out of that conversation with Stephanie. Chan, your name came up. And she didn't. So I was like, oh man. But I also wanted Chan to know, to mentally get prepared that if Stephanie is the one that has to choose a name, she's going to be calling your name. Because in my best interest, Chan will be coming back into the game. So for me, I was like, hey, just letting you know, Stephanie will say one of your name. And I said it a little smoother than that. But I did want to give her that heads up and let her know that that was a possibility, that it was going to happen just in case it happened.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's hard to navigate all those relationships because then it's like, if you don't say anything to Chan, and then she gets put up and comes back, she's going to go right to you and be like, girl, did you know this? And you're going to be like, well, no. And then Stephanie's like, what do you mean? Yeah. She'll go to Stephanie. Stephanie goes, yeah, I told everyone. I told Carlos. Carlos knew. And then she's like, girl, you're going to give me a heads up? Like, what's up? Like, so you're screwed either way almost.
And at that point, I thought Stephanie had other options as well, like above me. I thought Chan was already close to my number one in that moment. So if it was somebody else, I wouldn't have shared that because it was none of my business. But I felt like it was my business in that moment.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So then we get inside, everybody votes, and the votes start coming out. And it's, I don't know the order. It's Justin, Jake, Steph, and then Jake. And it's a tie. And then the episode ends with a tie. So let's play pretend, Coach and Will. Carlos, you can't play this because you know the result. Coach, who do you think is returning and who are they going to select?
Because how many votes did you not read? It was one?
One. There's only one vote left.
Yeah,
because what's going to happen is whoever has that one vote will then be the tiebreaker, basically, and they'll pick person A or person B to come back.
Oh, okay.
It's very Matrix Reloaded coded, as the kids say.
Because wait, can you just remind me of the vote count one more time? Because I'm lost. Not that I'm lost.
It was 2 for Jake, 2 for Justin, 2 for Steph.
With one vote left to be revealed.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, right. Because then it's about getting the least votes, so it's going to be 3-2-2. Whoever gets that third vote is like still on the naughty list, and then basically dragging and being like, "No, bitch, you stay in here with me." Okay. Thank you. I just needed like a quick refresh.
Not in those words, but yeah. So let's pretend Jake is the one that comes back. Who is he selecting, Coach? Or Jake's given the opportunity to come back. Let me rephrase that. Who is he selecting? Based off of what you saw the last episode.
I don't, and I think it's because, and I don't know if it's an editing trick or just the way that everything is kind of. I can't get a gauge for real life. I don't know how any of them would actually pick because I don't feel. I feel like in the moment someone could just go off script basically and say I want to just because I told this person this.
You're describing Jake basically.
Just because I'm co-signing that, Coach. I'm co-signing that because I'm sitting there. I'm like I don't know who he would do because again it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, I honestly can't answer that question. As far as who I think will catch that third vote and then who I think will go back in the game, it'd be very easy for me to say Steph, but at this point, I don't I don't see it happening right now because of everything that happened, especially with the clips that are being shown as the votes are coming through. Like, I do think that that's some type of foreshadowing towards something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there are editing tricks in there, Coach.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
took some.
You're trying to mess with me.
I know.
We'll just say Jake and be wrong next week.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I
Carl
do.
smiled.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what that means, but
What were we gonna say?
I
Will?
do think that third vote's going to be for Steph. I think I liked the strategy of being very upfront about what she was planning to do, but it holds no power when you tell everybody. If everyone knows what you're doing, if you're coming in, well then, if you're telling everyone, yeah, Channing Clay. Well, guess what? There's only 8 other people besides Channing Clay. It gets back to them. Then it's like, oh no, then screw off. Everyone's now going to vote you. You're not coming back. It's nice if you told maybe 1, 2 people what you were doing, and then they can help move votes for you to then get you back in the game and then push that agenda. That's cute. But when you tell 8 out of the freaking 10 people, it holds no power. So I do think Steph is getting that third vote. As for who then she would pretty much like keep on the naughty list, I know I didn't really see her interact with Jake or Justin as much, so I really don't know which way she would go. I mean, she did, yeah, because she was part of putting up Josh and Justin in that first round. So it's like, would she want to
And Jake.
give just what?
She was part of. It was originally Jake and Justin. Then Jake.
Oh,
switched.
right, yeah, sorry. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and then and then Josh got swapped out, right? So it's like I don't even know, because it's almost like a toss up for her too. It's like, well, if I want to say like do an I'm sorry thing, why put both of you at like not well, Amy had a piece of that too, but you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
So I honestly, I'm very upset about this cliffhanger, to be very honest with you. But I get it, but I also get why you did it, because as we're talking through this, it really could go anyway. You don't do a cliffhanger if it's like it's so obvious, like if Jake, let's say Anthony's down there and Jake gets the third vote, you're like, well, we know Jake's not going to put Anthony with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like obvious thing, but it's not so obvious if Steph does get the third vote.
Yeah.
So I get why you did the cliffhanger, even though it raised my blood pressure.
This is not Survivor 41, 42 with the, I always call it the time turner, but that's not what it's actually called. That thing. The hourglass. This is not the hourglass. Like, there is no, 100%, I'm not even going to try to sit here and pretend like this is not going to happen type thing. Yeah. This could happen, and it wouldn't be the craziest thing that happened. And so, and I think that's why me and Will kind of did this with the answer, because we honestly don't know this. There's a phrase for that, but I won't say it now. But we won't say we don't know, and so that's I think that's a testament to what we got specifically in this episode, that we can't sit here and definitively say
this is who it's going to be, and this is why.
Yeah.
Well, then this is going to make our next segment and final segment of the evening a little bit more interesting, because we're going to do power rankings once again.
Oh God, this was so hard last time. I mean, it was a little. Okay, this one's going to be harder for me.
Here are the rules. The naughty elves stay at the bottom, so Stephanie will move down to here, but we got to move some other people around. So we'll start after Stephanie. I'm going to move Carlos out of here. Touch. All right. So who are we putting in that 4th place spot?
Wait, you mean like next to Stephanie?
Yes.
So basically, whose ass is grass? Okay.
That's a good. Yeah, sure.
Oh God. I mean, I would say. Because I would say either probably Clay or Chan, only because we've all played a game. Even though people are like, oh no, I don't want that to happen, I might not want. Once the name is out there, the name is out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So in my opinion, even though if Steph doesn't come back in, it's like, well, Chan and Clay's names are out there. But that it's such a flimsy thing to say because it's kind of bullshit too. But that's the only thing I have to go off of.
No, that's a very fair way of looking at this, especially with a cast of 10 people. Like they're just, and we've learned how much time we really have in between things. If you're looking for an easy name, whatever that means, you go after names that have already been said because you don't want to be the next person to put out a new name. That's especially
we've seen that with Justin. We've seen that now with Jake. Stephanie caught a stray. Yeah, that makes more sense. All right, so who's in our top 5?
We have Anthony,
Mackenzie, Amy, Carlos, and Josh.
Yes.
I mean, let's go this way. Coach, who do you feel did the best in the strategy round? Because then I feel like then you could go from one and go backward.
Honestly, I would keep, I know that it's kind of changed around here, but I still feel like I would keep Mackenzie, Amy towards the top. Based off these two, I think I would still keep them towards the top. I think that Amy. I think that Anthony is still in, despite the, I guess, flub during White Elephant. I feel like
able to recover.
Yeah. I think that I would definitely put him in.
Yeah, put Anthony third.
Yeah.
Okay, Anthony third.
And then Carlos and then Josh for me.
I would go Carlos, Josh.
Okay, we have some movement from last week. All right. Let me hop back over here. Let me stop presenting. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I will say, Coach and Will, I apologize. And Carlos, I apologize for the cliffhanger and all the viewers watching. I will say this, just to preface for next week. Episodes 4, 5, and 6 were probably my 3 favorite episodes to edit. There is so much that happens in these rounds. This is not a spoiler because you guys are going to see the picture tomorrow, but we have a wig round coming up where the girls have to snatch wigs. And it's that episode specifically is my favorite. But the 3 of them together combined are my 3 favorites to do.
So next week is 5 and 6, correct?
Yeah, next week's 5 and 6, and then we move over to the finale, which everything's now been uploaded to YouTube. I'm done with it. It's
how many episodes are there?
There are 8.
Did I miss something?
There are 8. There's 8. So we have 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8. And then that's
gotcha.
Before we head out, Coach Drew, any final thoughts about the episode?
No, I mean, especially now hearing that 4, 5, and 6 are your favorite episodes to edit, and me saying earlier 4 was the most unique episode of the 4 episodes so far. I'm excited to see what 5 and 6 bring to the table. If they're more like 4, if they're both unique in their own right. But yeah, I've been enjoying the ride. And like I said last week, they've been quick, and we still get a lot of information, and it never feels like, okay, I can kind of like it. It's just, even in this episode where it's just mostly people talking.
Yes.
You don't want to miss anything because it's a short game and it's a small cast. You can't miss an important aspect of a conversation because then you won't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, final thoughts?
I like that this game really turned the game up. Like, okay, now we don't have to play Kumbaya anymore. aka throwback to China, done with this Kumbaya bullshit. But it made everyone be like, okay, now let's play. Like, okay, we don't have to be like, oh my God, I love everybody. It's like, no, I'm going after these people. It's done. It's cute. Let's go. So I'm interested to see, like I said, the fallout for that, where it's like, because again, this is just one round, but now that the game's turned up, you usually in these types of games, you don't go backward. It's like everyone's outwardly strategizing. We can pull 1 person, 2 people into rooms, be open about it because everyone's doing it. And I want to know what that does for the gameplay. So that's what's exciting for me moving forward.
Carlos has seen episode 5. He got a sneak preview. He knows what's to come. But Carlos, as we wrap up, there is something you want to talk about. Let me just move this right here so it's in view. It's all yours, Carlos.
I don't know what I'm going to say, but I will be playing the Legacy Trials in the summer in June. And as part of the event, we are fundraising. So anybody that can support, that would be greatly appreciated. And I am doing it for a great cause. And yeah, I really appreciate. I don't know. Oh, I forgot the link. Let me go.
I'll put it in the comments after the podcast.
Perfect. And
wait, who are you playing for? I want to know.
The Trevor Project.
Oh, beautiful. I love her.
Yeah.
And then one last thought about the episode is that I didn't know that, well, you said this already, but I was like shit talking Justin.
Oh, Jake.
I was shit talking
Anthony.
I was shit talking Anthony to Jake, not having any idea that they were each other's partner. And Jake wasn't responding the best way. I wasn't sure why, but I thought that was like really awkward. Sorry, Jake, and sorry, Anthony.
Listen, as me and Coach, and I think this came up in the last podcast, me and Coach played a Survivor game together, and there was a secret married couple, and it definitely tanked my game because I was on me and Coach were on different tribes, but there was this Amelia, lovely, was on Coach's tribe, and let me tell you, we won a bunch of immunity challenges. I was like, I know Amelia. I'm gonna clock her. If we get to merge, she needs to be out because she is dangerous. And meanwhile, Willow, the husband's like, oh, okay, yeah, like totally, like,
yikes,
girl. It didn't matter because I was still a pre-merge boot, so it didn't ever come to fruition. But my ass would have been grass if we got to the merge.
That is hilarious. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. We will be back next week with another special guest. I think it's Chan. I'm not sure. We'll see. But thanks for tuning in. Good night, everyone.
Good night, y'all.
See ya.
Coach, can you hit? Oh, wait, there's the button.
Okay, so okay.